Hello everyone, this is Cups bringing you another Monster Hunter World Iceborne video. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, but I figured that this was a good time to come back considering that we've got all these new delicious ice charge blades that have come back from Kjarr. Kjarr Ice is back, baby. I gotta say, I'm super excited. But with the recent drop of Master Rank Kjarr, there's a ton of new elemental charge blades for us to use. Basically, all of the elemental charge blades are now going to replace Safi'jiiva. Some of them have higher raw, some of them have higher element. Basically, they're all pretty much really similar to Safi'jiiva, except slightly better and with crit element on top of it. And with how Iceborne is nowadays, it's basically a lot of Savage Axe gameplay, which goes really nicely with crit element. And whenever you start stacking incredible amounts of elemental on top of a weapon, that's when things start to get really crazy. So I wanted to go through a few of these weapons. I don't have all of them maxed out right yet. I've been trying to grind it really hard yesterday and today so that I could get them all leveled up into a proper level, and I don't have some of the ones that weren't very strong back in the day. Kjarr Ice is very good, Fire is very good, Water is very good, Dragon is very good as well, but Dragon isn't as useful in a lot of matchups. It's pretty good for Safi'jiiva and maybe like Behemoth and some other matchups and things like that, but I don't have Thunder, so I'm still trying to look for Thunder around and things like that. But from what I could tell, most if not all of these are going to become the weapons that you're going to be using all the time. So I wanted to show a couple of them just side by side of Safi'jiiva and also give you some recommended sets that you guys could use to kind of show how strong these weapons are. And the main one that we're going to be talking about, and this is going to be the one that's changing everything for the most part, let me go ahead and save this set, is the Ice Charge Blade. The Kjarr Ice is now better than Beatotus, it's better than Safi'jiiva, it's better than anything else because it's not only higher raw. I'll start with Kjarr Ice, and I have it melded right now because it's something else that they recently added as well, is that you can layer rarity 12 armors, which is crazy. So I got the Velkhana on there, and I think it looks really nice with the ice. But as you can see, I don't have anything on except the one ice attack in the weapon, and 10-19 attack. A little bit of white, which you probably want to fix using either Master's Touch, because you're going to be doing Savage Axe, or Protective Polish with some sort of item prolonger or something like that. But 740 ice with the 5-piece Safi'jiiva set. I've been getting 1150, 1140, something like that. Good affinity, so you don't need to stack as much crit element on there, or crit eye on top of it, and the inherent crit element as well. So this is not only good for just Savage Axing, this is also extremely good for throwing SAEDs if that's your preferred play style, because it has insanely high ice, and your axe hits and your sword hits and everything like that will be hitting way harder as well. So it's just going to straight up replace Beatotus in most, if not all, situations. So here's the ice one as well. Here's water, which I leveled up as well. A good amount of water, also higher with Safi'jiiva. Safi'jiiva 5-piece, maybe 3-piece if that's what you're able to do. You could do Damascus chest with Garuga legs or something like that with Safi 3-piece. But high affinity, high water, high raw, a good amount of white. So you could probably get away with something like Razor Sharp with this, but maybe not. You might not need Master's Touch. You could probably do Razor Sharp, something like that with this. But this is going to be really good for things like Ebony Odogaron, Brute Tigrix, some other monsters that are really weak to water. Teostra would be a good one as well, but I'd probably recommend still using ice against Teostra. The thing is a lot of monsters that are weak to water are also weak to ice, and in that case you should probably be using ice. But like I said, something like Ebony Odogaron or Brute Tigrix would be really good for water. And then let's see, what else do I have? I have the Fire one, which Fire is absolutely crazy. 1055 raw, good white, good affinity, and 560 fire. Also with Safi'jiiva is going to get improved quite a bit. And you'll also be able to use this one against like Velkhana, and some Kieran would be a good one to use this against. The crit element is going to be really nice for that, because a lot of these monsters that are weak to fire are heavy Savage Axe matchups. So I'm going to recommend that you use that as well. The defense is kind of whatever. The power element is also really important. You don't want impact files on your elemental weapons, and none of those offer this anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about it. The only thing that kind of stinks in comparison to Safi'jiiva weapons and some of the other ones is that the slots hurt. You really want a lot of slots on Charge Blade because you need things like Capacity Boost and Focus and Offensive Guard and Element and all this other stuff. And you're not going to be able to fit a lot of that in, but the raw and the fire, the element and the crit and everything like that is going to more than make up for it, especially with the critical element. You're going to have to give up some other stuff for this to be as strong as it is, but that's okay. I'll give you some kind of go-to sets that I was using. And so, I mean, we could just like take straight comparisons of what these sets look like. some of the other ones I have. I don't have the thunder one. Let's see which fire, if I have some of the other elemental ones, if I have fire leveled up or what have you. I have a couple things that okay, here's a good one. Here's a good example. So this is the maxed awakened water charge blade from Safi'jiiva. 972, 5% affinity, 510 water, and a level 4 slot. And then where's the water one at? So more raw, more water, more affinity, and crit element on top. So these are absolutely insane and very powerful, and you should be trying to get your hands on them as much as you can. And some advice of what you can do. If you guys did Call of Terath back in high rank, you can go ahead and meld some of your old ports, go back to the ancient or to the Elder Melder, and use those pieces to try to roll the new weapons that you want. Go down to the lowest level, go to like the incandescent weapon meld, and try to get the weapons that you need. It is all down to RNG, but it's going to be much faster than trying to run Call of Terath over and over and over again. If you weren't able to do high rank, you can still do the master rank Call version, get those master rank parts, and then use those pieces to meld as well. But you're going to have to be farming a lot of Call of Terath if you want to try to get all those weapons, meld the previous versions, and upgrade them as well. So the way it works is you take the high rank version of the Kjarr or Terath weapons, and then you upgrade them using the master rank parts. I took a look at some of the other ones. If you want to take a look at like, here's my dragon one as well. Dragon one is quite strong. Same thing, higher raw, higher affinity, higher element, a little bit of Elder Seal, all that stuff is good. But there's also some of the paralysis ones. Yeah, so this one's not leveled up, but it's going to be a similar thing as well. So if you're into using some more of that stuff, like if you like to use sleep or paralysis or poison or something like that, you're going to be having very, very high status, very high raw, very high affinity, and then crit status on top of it. And this makes it whenever you crit, you're going to be applying more status effects to the monster. So if you like to do some of those CC type sets, then you're going to want all the Kjarr ones as well. So a lot of charge blades. And something good that I recommend is if you don't have the Kjarr sleep charge blade, to recommend to get that, because crit status is really nice and it's really useful for the guiding lands, because the more times you put the monster to sleep, the more times you can wall bang them, the more materials you get, all things like that. So that's all good stuff in the world. And I cannot stress how good these are, especially Kjarr Ice. It is a little crazy. And on my first run, just testing the weapon, I was able to get a 416 against Teostra, TA Wiki Rules, no mantles, no palico, anything like that. I was just putting on the weapon, just throwing it around. So you should be able to drastically improve your times against Teostra and in multiplayer and all this other stuff. And Lunastra will also be a big improvement. So try to get your hands on these things, because it's kind of crazy. So the one that I kind of want to recommend on sets wise for a lot of these elemental ones, and it's also going to be pretty similar for for the status effect, because Safi also increases the status effect. But you could do something like this where you have 5-piece Safi. You're going to be struggling for sharpness on this one, so you could do something like Protective Polish, maybe the Razor Sharp Charm or something like that. And there's the current event quest out for the Wetfish Fin pluses, so go do that quest a bunch so you get a bunch of Wetfish Fin pluses. And this makes it so you can sharpen in one pass, which is really quick, and you'll be able to maintain that sharpness as much as you want. So this is Guard 1 set. Plenty of fire, crit boost, weakness exploit, focus, all that good stuff. All the things that you want on Charge Blade, you're just going to be struggling with sharpness a little bit. So what I've been doing in runs is replacing the capacity boost decoration with a sharpness jewel, so that I can, sharpen and keep going. So this is going to be a good one if you're trying to be a little bit more efficient. It's got the health boost on there. You can also replace it with recovery up. Not a lot of people know this, but you can put recovery up on your sets, and whenever you get the life back from Safi'jiiva, so you hit the monster a few times and it drains your life from you, but whenever you get the health boost back, recovery up improves that as well. You get more life from that, so you get 10, 20, and 30% more life. So that's really, really nice, and not a lot of people know that, so I wanted to pass that on. But it's got the things you want, focus, all the good stuff. So this would be a good set if you're a bit more of an experienced player and you are okay with not missing. You can't miss very often whenever you're using Safi'jiiva, because you're going to get a little bit of lifesteal back. You're going to be hurting yourself every time you're missing. You want to make sure you're hitting the monster effectively and often. So this is kind of a bit more of an advanced set, and I recommend that you guys use this one. You basically just want to put as much element as you can on there. And don't neglect things like crit boost and weakness exploit and things like that. You definitely still want some crit, because you have crit element on there. Now, critical boost is going to affect the raw portion of your attacks, not your elemental. But it's still worth having, just because you're going to be critting pretty much 100% of the time anyway. You don't need very much crit eye, because whenever you bring out your Safi set, I'll show you here. You can check it with poses. Do a weapon pose, and then it shows what it looks like. So you're gonna have 65%. So you're overcapping on elements still on the set. So you could put you could put some other stuff in there if you want, extra levels of guard or what have you. But 920 element, it's amazing. You can do a weapon pose and it shows you what the Sappy set bonus is going to look like afterwards. So, and then another one that I like to use, and this is a bit more for maybe not optimized speed runs or something like that, maybe just more kind of multiplayer type play, is here's my Ice Savage Axe set that I was using against like Teos or just kind of playing around. But this also has guard, it's got some flinch free in there, some crit eye, ice attack, and this also has 3-piece Master's Touch, the 3-piece Teos Strength, which gives you Master's Touch, so whenever you're critting, you're not losing sharpness. This will give you plenty of sharpness. It's got everything you want there, so go ahead and use these sets. You can feel free to plug in. I don't really feel like I need to tell you guys to add health boost and divine blessing, whatever stuff you want. Just sacrifice a little bit of damage for whatever kind of survivability that you want to put in there, but this works with my play style because I don't know, I play the game a lot. I'm at like 3.5 thousand hours. I'm in thousands of charge blade hunts and stuff like that, so I feel pretty well versed in the weapon. But change the set, kind of use it just as a roadmap of how you'd like to play. But you could do something like that for both of these. So here's a nice little Master's Touch set, and here's a little just straight element, just slinging damage. And you can also do something like 3-piece Sappy, so you're getting kind of a bit of best of both worlds, where you could do 3-piece Sappy with the Damascus chest, that way you're getting focus, and you could do something like Garuga legs, or you could use the new Kulv Taroth legs that has Crit Boost 2 on it, or you could do the other one, the Brachydios legs, Brachydios, however you'd like to pronounce it, but those are all very strong leg candidates, and then I'd recommend that you're using the waist, head, and gloves of Safi'jiiva. But I wanted to pass these on to you, show you guys these sets, show you guys the weapons. Go back, take a look at these if you want to see if it's worth your time to level them up. But I probably recommend, if you're a Charge Blade main, that you pretty much want to make all of these Kjarr weapons. They're so crazy. They're pretty much just flat out better than Safi, stats-wise, and then crit element on top of them. So so go make them, go start grinding Kulv Taroth, go put some music on, go put a stream on or whatever, and get to grinding. But I wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much for watching. I know, I've gotten a lot of subs and everything like that, and I haven't made YouTube content in a while, but we should be making more content here on the regular, and I really appreciate you guys all watching. But if you want more content, make sure that you follow. You could comment, subscribe, subscribe to the channel. And I also stream daily on Twitch, twitch.tv/cups. I'll go ahead and put that in the description below. Follow me there, and we talk a lot about Charge Blade and all kind of weapons. I'm a Charge Blade main, but I play all 14 weapons, and I know a decent amount about each of the weapons. I've also been playing a lot of Insect Glaive, so if you want more Insect Glaive content, which the Kjarr Insect Glaives are also crazy. But we'll talk more about that stuff in the future, and thanks for watching, and have a good day.